I voted for Listen.
I voted for Shock.
Shock.
Shock, yeah.
Bear Story.
Dads and Mom.
Forever Over.
Forever Over.
I loved Grounded, and I loved Bis Gleich. Was it Gleich?
Bisgleich.
Bisgleich.
Bisgleich, yes.
I voted for Listen from Finland because I never expected to see anything quite like that.
The fear and terror and craziness of not being able to talk to people.
It was really, really, really kind of disturbing.
And it kept getting worse and worse, and it made me feel really bad at the end, but I thought it was really good for doing that.
It was so human in the way it was telling us as humans to listen to one another.
I voted for Shock, the movie about Kosovo, because I knew very little about the movie actually, and it made it feel very real.
I voted for Shock. I thought it was very well done and also very important.
It was the most illuminating.
I never watch movies that are on that type of a topic, so it was very powerful for me.
I just thought the story had to be told, and I thought it was told very simply, but very well.
It was incredibly, felt realistic and powerful, and brought home all those stories that you just see on TV, where you just watch them, the stories, and just go to the next story, and it doesn't mean that much. This one really, really meant something.
I voted for Shock because it was a dramatization of something which really happened, but made it into a universal short film about conflict, which happens everywhere in the world on a very small scale, on a totally human scale. And for me, it was very, very powerful.
I voted for Bear Story because I was so surprised that I would like an animated film that much.
Yeah.
The technical detail was fascinating. The story was compelling.
I thought it was startlingly original. The animation technique was fantastic. I loved the story.
I was just amazed by the technicality of it and the emotion that came through and the detail of it. And it was a style that I'd never seen before. It was just fascinating.
It was a story within a story within a story, and it looks like they left the ending open. At the beginning, it appeared as if the wife and the child were gone, and maybe they are, maybe they're coming back, but it looked like if they are gone, the Papa Bear was trying to bring joy to his life, and he did it by creating that story inside the machine and hoped other kids would get something out of it.
I voted for Dads and Mom, which I thought was a really inventive and funny way to tell a good story.
Because I think it captured childhood innocence perfectly, and I thought the writing was fantastic.
It's the cutest film I've ever seen, and it has a little surprise ending, so it's adorable.
It was really funny. It was really funny, and I imagine my kids doing the same thing.
I voted for Forever Over. I felt it was a really unique love story, unlike any others, where it's not always a happy ending.
It's a movie about like sad story, exciting story at the same time.
I really liked the way they captured the dilemma of the threesome. What happens after. I thought they did a really good job.
I liked it because I thought it was a very clever sort of use of dissecting, people's wishes in a relationship.
Although it was a little bit like, be careful what you wish for, they each got what they really wanted and seemed happy about it, even though they weren't together. And sometimes that's life.
They were all terrific.
Yeah.
But Shock was the one that hit me the most.
Yes.
And the story of human sadness.
It moved me, and it made me think about what the Syrian refugees are going through now.
I thought it was very moving. It brought me to tears, and the little boy, the actor, reminded me of my great-nephew. Looked exactly like him, but I did feel the movie was very realistic, and it was very moving.
It was so touching. I had tears. Oh my God, it was awful. You felt like you were such a part of that time.
I was touched. That's the truth. I cried.
Beautiful. You cried?
I did.
I just thought the raw emotion of that time and how tough it was. I just emotionally, I thought for me it was draining. It was a short movie, but it was draining for me to see what these people went through.
I voted for Shark.
Okay.
And I voted for Shark because that's an old story that is still new and is current.
Made you think a lot, made you realize what a crazy world it is out there. And I remember living in the States when that war was going on, and just how devastating it was, and just how much we didn't understand and we didn't know what was going on. So
I thought it was wonderful, and that's one of the great things about the film festival, is it makes me think about things that I didn't know about. So I realized how ignorant I was about that war, and now I'll have to read about it.
I just thought it was just such an excellent short film, and I think it would be awesome if that was turned into a feature-length film. I think it definitely has potential to be one.
I voted for Patch because it was just kind of out there and very different from all the others.
Grounded brought tears to my eyes because of its, perseverance of the flight attendant. I really connected to that. She's going for it. She went for it. She got it. And her, feminine strength and composure really spoke to me.
Yeah, I voted for Grounded too. I think there's something about how it just seemed like a regular day, but then at the end of the day, probably changed someone's life.
You can only vote for one, so Biz Gilech, I just have to say, is that's the one that made me laugh and cry at the same time, and in just the playful way she set up the mirrors so he could see her and follow the routine of his life.
There was a lot of communication without any verbal anything going on, just expressions and eyes, and it touched me. And
oh, because it was so dear and tender, and it was moving, and it was life.
I just thought it was really beautiful because most of it was without words, and I think that it conveyed a poignant message of different perspectives, but connecting through a common thread of surroundings, and I thought that was very powerful.
This one showed how we can be very reluctant to express that, but over time, compassion wears us down to succumb to it. And I thought it was beautifully depicted, very much so, with very few words.
It was just a really unique way to tell a story. A lot of it was nonverbal, and it was very fascinating to me.
You saw him do so little. He didn't even speak, not once in the whole movie, but he was so adorable and so lovable, and I was so glad that the woman recognized how much he needed love too. It made me happy. So it was great.
I thought that the man was absolutely amazing. He could tell a story without saying a word. His expressions were unbelievable, and it was one of the ones that I didn't call the ending. I didn't expect it.
It was a very charming movie, and I just absolutely loved it.
It highlighted goodness, pure goodness, and I think the idea of goodness needs to be highlighted throughout the world. I also like the fact that there was very little language involved, spoken language. The point came across, I thought it was extremely creative. The ending knocked my shoes off, or my socks off, I don't remember. I thought it was terrific, and I must say, this I believe is our fourth opportunity to be here at Manhattan Shorts, and I can't wait till next year. I love it.
This was like one of the best movie experiences I've ever had, so I can't pick one.
But you have to.
But I can.
So you're not voting?
I'm not voting. I'm voting for this whole festival. I think you've done a great job, and you should be proud that you're making everybody happy and enjoy film.
All of the movies were good this year. Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I loved it. This is my first time going. My family's gone for a couple of years now, and they always love it. And so I just figured I might as well come along, and I had a great time.
This is the first one. I was kind of impressed. They were shorts, but man, you really paid attention, and they packed so much into the movies. All of us really enjoyed it.
What a great night. What a great program. Really just left me wanting more out of this festival, and what a great job everybody's done.